Welcome back to Apple Tree Allotment. Come down here on Sunday morning this week. It was an absolutely beautiful day yesterday. We went for a lovely walk in the woods, collecting our foliage for to make Christmas decorations, Christmas wreath and a Christmas mantelpiece decoration. Yeah, it was a really beautiful day yesterday, so I had high hopes for this morning, but woke up to rain and cold and wet, so yeah, kind of dashed a bit of my plans this morning, and also sort of running out of time. We had a bit of a slow morning getting out of bed, so yeah, I've got about an hour down here this morning before I need to get back for dinner and kids parties and all the other things. So yeah, what I'm going to do today is sort of a bit of planning and make a start on new beds. I've got, if you watched last week, I got all that wood from my sister. They're moving, and she's had this big this planter out the front of their house that they no longer wanted. It's only about a year old, so the wood's basically brand new. So I spent a good two and a bit hours last week taking it all apart the best I could. My brother-in-law had built it like a battleship, I think, so it was it fought me quite a lot trying to take it apart, but there was some good wood there and compost, so it was worth the fight. I think I showed you, I brought down the compost out of it. So I got these 5 plastic boxes and a big bag of it as well, so probably 6 boxes really, and that was all compost, and they just had a few little plants in it, some bulbs and things, so I've taken those out, and I used some of the bulbs and my mum's reused the plants, but yeah, so I've got all the wood down here now. By the time I got down here last Saturday, it was dark by the time I'd got it down here, so I couldn't film it really then, but I just brought it down. These are the sides, so it's one bed with these decking planks. I'm not sure where he got these decking planks from because they're absolutely massive. I'll measure them in a bit, but they're really nice and long. So there's 6 big decking planks, and then there's like a rail on the top, which is quite nice. I might reuse for the tops if I've got enough. Maybe one of the other beds. Yeah, so there's 6 big decking planks, and then on the back there's some chunky bits of wood holding it together as well. So one job is going to be actually just taking that apart so I can reuse it. I kind of gave up while I was there trying to get it apart because it was getting late, and luckily in our camper van I managed to fit. It's a long wheelbase van, so luckily it fit between the back door and the I just had them hanging over the front seats, so yeah, it was lucky they just about fit in. And then in he had like a floor in it, so you can see sort of 2 bits of there. It was in 2 parts, so it's a floor with some chunky supports and some cross parts, so I saved them in case I could either make some little flower planters out of them or use them for joining bits together or something. Yeah, I didn't want to throw it away yet because it looks like really good wood. I just need to work out what to do with it. Yeah, so I brought all that down last week, and I'm going to decide, have a measure up. I brought down a tape measure. I did bring a saw and screwdrivers and stuff down, but I'm not sure I'm going to get time to do all that. I'll make a start taking it apart, I think. Yeah, so what I'm thinking, I'm going to measure it up, and either I'll use it for a bed somewhere like this. These are going to have 2 beds in, going that way, with a path in the middle. So either there, if there's enough wood, in the same style as these, sort of two decking planks high. So either on the new plot, or if I bring it around the back of the tree, I'd really like to extend this first bed. So we did have the mud kitchen for the kids, but I've moved out onto the new plot, and she's got a nice little bit with bulk down, and yeah, nice little play area. So now I'm going to start using this front bit. If I stand back a bit, so now we've got all this area. And what I thought, instead I could either put 2 more beds in, there's space for that, but what I thought is I might make these beds longer, so to where it ends there, right to the front where this pole is, because next year I'm going to use this side, all of this side, for potatoes. I'm going to buy double the amount I bought last year, to try and get through most of the year. So yeah, so I'd like to have some longer beds to have things like that, or another year obviously I'll rotate a little bit. So another year I'd have like our corn or our squash in there, and they can use longer beds. And obviously it saves a little bit of space that the path takes up, trying to be optimal space, trying to save space. And ideally at some point I'd join together maybe those ones at the end or something, so they're longer as well. Yeah, so that's the plan. So I'm going to get a tape measure out and have a look to see how long those boards are, and if they'll go the full length of these, and if not, if I can join them to these other ones. Just what I do is just take the end off, move it along, and then either join on or replace the sides. So that's my plan. I'm going to have a measure up and see, and I'll let you know what I find out. In terms of the plot, I've got these first 4 beds, I've got the green manure in. The second 2 are doing much better. We planted those a week later. So yeah, they've definitely grown since last week, so I'm happy with that. I'll just dig them in the spring at some point. These 2 are not done so well, and I think these beds, they definitely need a bit of love before I plant anything else in them. Definitely going to put some good compost in them this year. They were the first beds we made. I can't remember what we put in them. Probably a bag of compost and maybe some of the compost from the site, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's those. These are empty apart from a few self-set garlic, which are actually doing really well. So yeah, I'm going to leave them in there. Over this side, there's no sign of the peas or broad beans yet. I was looking back last night at my videos from December last year, and I did see that the broad beans were up. So yeah, a bit slow this year, but if they don't come up, I'll just start some in February, I think. Just see how they get on. Chard's looking good. I'm going to harvest a little bit of this today, and some from home. Anna's making a butternut squash and chard risotto for dinner. So yeah, so it'll be. I've chopped up the squash from the allotment this morning. They're doing really well. I think we have about 10 of them, and we're using 1 a week. And they're really good squash. And in fact, this morning I saved the seed from the one I cut up, and I've saved the pumpkin seed we had as well. So yeah, I'm going to hope to try and replant them next year because they did so well. Leeks look like they've been nibbled. Well, they've been eaten right down actually, which is a bit sad. So I might need to put some netting or something over them. Yeah, not massive those, and I might actually pull up some of those spring onions because they have been. There's a pesky. There's a couple of holes in there where something's burrowing in. So yeah, they're getting munched. So I think I might pull them up and just eat what we got left. Bit more success over this side. The garlic, as you can see, is doing really well. Again, comparing it to last year, it's probably similar height to it was last year, even though I planted it earlier this year, I think. But yeah, even so, doing well. Happy with that. Lots of nice garlic growing. Most of them come up. There's a couple missing in that bed. But yeah, looking good. I'll be really pleased if we get all of those. And over here, onions. Again, there's another little hole in the middle where something's been digging. And not as many of the onions have come up. Not yet, at least. So we'll see how they get on. This bed's a bit better. There's a few coming up there. So yeah, hopefully they'll keep going. over winter. Not done so well with the onions. Yeah, we might plant some again in spring if they've not come up by sort of spring. I'll maybe plant some more in the gaps. See how we get on. Yeah, so that's how the plot's looking good for this time of year. Starting to look at seeds for next year. Definitely want to get some more brassicas, some broccoli and Brussels and things going next year. So we've got something at this time of year coming up. We did do them last year and we had Brussels at home last year and they did quite well. I just need to build some sort of cage, I think, so that I can get some decent netting over them, because they do really get eaten here quite badly. Yeah, so that's how the plot's looking. So I'm going to get my tape measure up these boards and have a look where they'll fit, and we'll see what time I've got to start attacking them, getting them apart so I can reuse them. I've had a good measure up and gone through some ideas. So the long sides of it will just about get from this post to the end of this bed. It's about 3 inches shorter than I'd really like. So the bed will end just sort of where this grass starts. So that's okay. It would have been nicer just a little tiny bit longer, but that'll be fine. So I've got 6 of those boards. So if I do 2 each side of this one, that's 4. And I'll just bring the end down here. And the other side, so I'll have 2 more. I can do one side of that. And then I'm going to have to get creative on the other side. I'm going to have to find some more decking or reuse. I'll be able to reuse one of the sides off this, I guess. So if I join them in the middle on one side of this one, and I can bring it down. Yeah, so that's good. Means I can have 2 nice big beds here, and I can get all of my. I don't know if I'll start. I might start first earlies this end, and yeah, have them all spread out. A bag in each will probably fit in each of those. Yeah, so that'd be brilliant. So yeah, so all I'm going to do now is have a see how long I've got left before I need to get back, and I'm just going to start taking screws out of those boards, taking them apart, ready for next week, I think. Then hopefully, if the weather's okay, I can get down here and start on one of the beds. Obviously, I've got plenty of time till we need them in sort of March, April next year. But it's nice to. I'm trying to keep the momentum, keep doing one thing a week down here, so that it doesn't get to spring and then suddenly you got to do everything. Nice to make a bit of forward progress every week. It's a good excuse to get down here and have a bit of exercise as well. Get out in the fresh air. Yeah, so I'm going to get my screwdriver out and start doing that. I've got all this soil to go in those, to fill up those beds, so I think normally they take at least, I'd say, 3 of those in one of the smaller beds I make. So I might be able to just fill it all up with that. But if I get time, I might pop and get some of that soil improver, just to put one box of that in each, just to bulk it up a bit. At some point I'll gradually start mulching these beds with good compost. I'm going to turn our compost heap soon. I've decided I'm going to sort of, obviously there's not much coming out of the allotment now anyway, but I'm going to stop putting any more on our compost heap over here, and let that all rot down. It's got a load of leaves on it at the moment, so I'm going to let that rot down and start. I'm going to give it a good turn, get a spade out and turn it all over. So hopefully in spring we'll be able to use that. There should be some good compost at the bottom of that, and I can just mulch some of the beds with it before we start getting our potatoes in and all the rest of it. Yeah, and then on the other side I'm sort of slowly formulating a plan for spring, and you know, starting to look at seeds, see where things are going to go. And I'm starting to think, because this space at the back is quite big, and it's not, yeah, there's not a lot of paths around it. I was thinking about doing my pumpkins and squash along here next year. It might change, but that's the idea. So I'm going to start preparing this end, clear this end up, get some plastic down on it ready, and then I'll get some manure when I can, put that on there, and yeah, start building that up, and just leave this. There's some wood down here that's okay. It'll do for a year or so while I get some of the other beds built up. Yes, that's my thinking. I'm still not sure about the strawberry patch. That is a good sized bed that I can split into two, and when the tree's gone, I'll build that one up, and I've got the one at the front that's got the table on at the moment. I'll do two beds in as well. Yes, that's my thinking at the moment as I look at what to start planting up in the new year. Trying to plan better this year, get all the everything planted at the right times. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed having a little wintry look around. It's windy again today, and very wet, just drizzle on and off, so I won't stay down too long. But yeah, hope you're all having a nice autumn and Christmas festivities, and yeah, I look forward to talking to you next week.